On the field, it was impossible to miss the horror show that was the Sydney Swans on Saturday night, and in that, just how far a powerhouse of a team has fallen.
The home team have been absolutely slaughtered by the Adelaide Crows.
We're now starting to see holes everywhere.
The real Swans. They played in the grand final last year.
I understand
it's
that.
the grand final team.
I'm telling you, they
look like a bottom four team.
They are a bottom four team.
Yeah, not well. It was unacceptable and embarrassing.
The humiliation lies with the home team, who have so many questions to answer in the season.
I didn't expect that, you know, on such a massive night for the footy club when you have a 20-year reunion. You know, for a team that played desperate, uncompromising, ruthless football, and that was that far from it. So we need to strew it back and get to work real quick. Everyone.
You hate seeing a coach like that. Just down and his answers are obvious. We're not working hard enough.
Don't underestimate the fallout of the two grand final losses.
I think there's scars.
I think that 100% there would be scars.
We are going to fight our way through this. Everyone that's involved at the footy club. And there's going to be no easy way through it. So I said to them, expect some tough sessions. That'll happen.
You were there for the full gory show. Just how shocking was it?
It was a galling night. That's what it was. So they kicked the first goal of the game and it went into sort of arm wrestle phase for about 10 minutes and you thought, OK, both teams are up for it. And then the Adelaide Crows kicked another two and then you realise that this Sydney Swans team can't score and this Adelaide team defends so well. And all of a sudden the 4 goals just was gaping. And it almost, as it occurred to us as a commentary, I think it occurred to the playing group. As it unfolded, they thought, this side's that hard to score against and we're already 4 down. And then all of a sudden it was 12 unanswered goals. And I'm down on the ground, you know, to get ready to do the half-time and the 2005 Premiership team had been presented and it just occurred to us. There was a time, Jared, in the second quarter where Sydney kicked a point and the crowd started clapping. And Hutto and I looked at each other and Jono and thought, well, is that a special acknowledgement maybe of this? But it was just them getting, well, bronxed, I guess is the best way to describe it. So, no, it was a really dark night for the footy club on the back of all the things the boys have just talked about there as a grand final team. They've dropped right away. So it doesn't look modern and the makeup of the team doesn't look modern and it was just a procession in the end.
So there's the mechanics and then there's the intangibles. Where are you inclined to lean at the moment?
It's all of it. Mechanics, intangibles and personnel. And the personnel that's missing is the personnel they can least afford to miss. And I'm talking about Papley and Goulden as being spirit and energy types, but also class. But the rest of it's just dropped away. The intangibles is the spirit, it's the commitment, it's the heart, it's the walking off the ground with looking at each other, and then you have the situation where an opposition player. I have no problem with Wayne Miller saying that they were a rabble because they were. We'll talk about that further when Matthew Nix joins us. So all those things are real. And then you got the other thing, which we put on the agenda last week, that we've been generous and kind to Sydney in terms of the succession plan because they've had good success, great success, premiership success with it. So we go, OK, they know what they're doing. But now it'll justifiably, Dean Cox's role in all this will be questioned. And that's what happens when you're sitting in the big chair. And Coxie would be feeling that right now. It's not sitting next to the horse and letting him front up. He's got to front up and find a way. I'm not sure bringing the mouth guards is going to fix it.
So he's been hard and uncompromising. He has been blunt at each stage where they've had these performances and that was the worst of it. What if that's not what's required at the moment? What if it is the emotional exposure or healing and that this is the one moment in time where working harder is not going to be the answer?
It would be the bravest of brave 12-game coaches who then sat down and just threw his arms and started to love him. And if that's the alternative you're talking about, is it the mouth guards, let's get some pain and work our way through it, or no, let's sit down and talk about our feelings. And that might be what's needed, Ger, but geez, it'd be a brave path to take for Dean Cox. I suspect it's more than that. I suspect it's more than that. And, there's whole little undercurrents of this. And as I was watching that unfold in the coach's box, Callum Mills is sitting in the back row as the captain of this football club. He came back for a week and got himself reported and sat out and had to watch that again. It's a pretty hard... He would be feeling guilty, I would imagine, right now, Cal Mills. So we love this footy club. We've all admired them, but they are, excuse me, like lots of clubs have been in the last 10, 20 years. They're in a deep hole, and it was embarrassing, and it is embarrassing, and now it's up to them to do something about it.